Joel Embiid, the reigning most valuable player in the NBA, and he has decided he would like to fill the collection kitty for this show and fill the content kitty, and so he's doing it. Now, if you did not hear what Joel Embiid had to say, it is possible that you missed it. The loquacious Sixers star sounds like a guy who's ready to leave the people of Philadelphia. Now, how do I know that? I'm using his own words. I'm weaponizing his own words. So he recently appeared at a film festival in La La Land here. Of course, he's an NBA player, so he's getting into the movie business. And rather than me give you the quote, and I could do a hell of a Joel Embiid impersonation, but rather than that, let's trust the process and take a listen to a little snippet of Joel Embiid. He is talking, I think, with Maverick Carter, if I remember correctly. But anyway, here's the conversation at a film festival recently in Los Angeles. And he's talking about his goals, and listen closely.
I just want to win a championship. Whatever it takes. I don't know what that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or, anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win that first one, and then you can think about, the next one. It's not easy. But it takes more than 1, 2, 3 guys. Gotta have good people around you, and like myself. Every single day I work hard to be at that level, so I can produce and make it happen. So
yeah, we put our microphone in Moreno Valley, and Joel was in West L.A., I think. So that's but we could hear what he said, and he said, "I want to win a championship." And I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's Philly or anywhere else. That's the money quote. So let's talk about that. And he also said you got to be surrounded by good people and all that. So Embiid now enters his 8th season. Where has the time gone? 76ers, next upcoming NBA basketball season, was 8th in the league. And those quotes have been bouncing around. At the same time, the franchise leaked out to their buddies in the media that they think Embiid wants to have a career akin to Kobe Bryant or Dirk Nowitzki. Clearly, I guess, forgetting the fact that Kobe Bryant desperately wanted to leave the Lakers and play for the Chicago Bulls at one point and the Clippers at one point, but we'll leave that aside. So the question, as we discussed, the question on this one, how will Joel Embiid's latest commentary play out in Philadelphia? That's the question. So I've got Forked, JetBlue, and diarrhea. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a delicious snickerdoodle cookie, which was given the stamp of approval by the Koopa Loop as the greatest cookie made yet in the Benny the Baker era, which is coming to a pause, although other people saying I should still bake cookies and not give up. But anyway, so first of all, talking about Joel Embiid, the latest comments of Embiid. We like Embiid, not that it matters. He doesn't know who we are. We like Joel Embiid. He's good for what we do here. He's got a charismatic persona. He's good soundbite. Seems very approachable. He's charming. Those are all wonderful things. Those are great qualities. And he was able to guilt, very impressively, the NBA media to give him a most valuable player trophy he did not deserve. Embiid was good. He wasn't as good as Nikola Jokic during the regular season. It's not hindsight bias. We said it at the time. Now, the last laugh went to the Joker as he ended up getting the MVP of the NBA Finals and all that. But he took advantage, Embiid, of the power of the I-95 corridor and taking advantage of that to curry votes to win the Most Valuable Player award. But on this topic, get to the point, please. On this topic, Joel Embiid is using double talk. He is. Embiid is forked, as in forked tongue is what he's doing here, because he's sending out mixed messages. And he's clearly having some trust issues. He doesn't trust the people around him in Philadelphia. He said in that soundbite, if you can make it out, you got to be surrounded by good people. And he must think the people in Philadelphia at this point, maybe they're not good. They're not helping him to the end game there. He might have a problem with his nurse, might need a new nurse to help him along. But watching the bus terminal in South Philly there, the Sixers locker room over the last few years, and the comings and goings of Philadelphia pro bouncy ball and Joel Embiid's relationship with the Sixers. Is it growing stale? Would he ever admit to it growing stale? Is he looking to light a spark with the team and maybe convince them to go out and do something they wouldn't want to do there, keeping them on their toes, at the very least, Joel Embiid keeping them on their toes? For example, speaking of that, the second part of this Maller monologue, is it true that James Harden only wants a trade to the Clippers? Now, we've talked about this over the recent episodes of the show, and I am nodding my head yes. I'm nodding my head yes. The streets have been talking. And here's what they're saying. They're saying it's on brand, that all arrows are pointing at the same bullseye, the same target here. And Harden is getting the sumo suit ready. We talked about this in yesterday's program, that there are reports that James Harden has decided to spend some quality time with the all-you-can-eat buffet. He's up to the old shenanigans he did in Houston, where the beard right now, he has a balanced diet getting ready for the upcoming NBA season. He starts out every morning with a couple of tasty cakes. He then, at lunch, has some Philadelphia Bavarian pretzels. And then at dinner time, he has cheesesteaks, double fisting cheesesteaks, and then he has a snack of a couple of quarts of ice cream. And that's how he's getting ready, getting in condition for the NBA season. James Harden is domineering, is what he is. He's domineering. He gets what he wants. And at this point, the Philadelphia 76ers are flying on a JetBlue Airlines flight, and the pilot has gone on the PA system and says, ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten your seatbelts light, and we are crossing a zone of turbulence. Please return to your seats and keep your seatbelts fastened. Thank you. That's what's going on. Good luck. And the Clippers, knowing that Harden only wants to play for them, they are now in a position of strength. I don't want to have much to do with James Harden, but the Clippers clearly are interested in him. So here's what they ought to trade. They ought to trade a couple of canisters of leftover lasagna that Ralph Lawler, their old play-by-play guy, left in the refrigerator at the team facility. That Tupperware with the old lasagna, and you can give that to Philadelphia, and maybe they'll take it. They might not. They might not take it. It's possible they will. And I know for the ballet dancers in Los Angeles, they really need James Harden because Harden is good for the economy. He will take care. There's a lot of young ballet dancers that want to go to college, and James Harden will pay for their tuition, and he'll help them out tremendously. Final thought. So let's go over to broadcasting now as we bounce around the pro bouncy ball world. Interesting story that is not surprising at all. It involves another member who used to be part of the Philadelphia sports scene, Glenn Rivers, better known as a doctor. He's not, but Glenn Rivers. He got the nickname Doc because his favorite player was Dr. J back in the day. Anyway, so Doc Rivers and Doris Burke are supposed to be in the driver's seat to replace Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy as the lead commentators with Mike Breen on ABC's top NBA broadcast team. Now, Doc Rivers was unceremoniously dumped by the Sixers after their latest playoff flop, the old flopperoo. So let's talk about this for a couple minutes. So the move here, what do you think of Doc Rivers in line to replace Jeff Van Gundy on network NBA broadcast? So my initial thought is downgrade. Downgrade. That's my initial. That it's akin, if you like a burger, going from eating In-N-Out Burger and then you go to Burger King. Now, some people love Burger King. I have nothing against Burger King, but it's not as good as In-N-Out. So you'd rather have the In-N-Out Burger, but you have to settle for the Burger King. With the Whopper, you got to settle for that. And this is a whopper of a story. Van Gundy, we believe the conspiracy theory that he was forced out because people at the league office did not like that Van Gundy continued to poke the dragon, and the dragon breathed fire, and Van Gundy went away. Now, Doc Rivers is debonair. NBA media love Doc Rivers. He is the media's sweetheart, is what he is. He waxes loquacious, and he has a chronic case of verbal diarrhea. Yeah, verbal diarrhea. Watching him coach the Lob City Clippers back in the day, we always thought watching Doc Rivers attempt to coach that team in key moments of playoff games that his calling, his highest level of incompetence was broadcasting. And I, to my last breath on this mortal coil, will believe the most improbable championship in NBA history. The Boston Celtics with Doc Rivers coaching that team. And I don't know how they did it, Paul Pierce and that group of Celtics, Kevin Garnett, but they won with the albatross Doc Rivers. And Doc will drive me nuts because he'll get on TV and he'll kid around and joke around and make he's self-deprecating and all that. And people will love him. And he's also blamed other people for his shortcomings, which, of course, we will highlight and tackle. We'll jump on top of that. And as for Doris Burke, I don't really care for her work. I usually hit the mute button when she's on the broadcast, so I guess I'll just hit the mute button some more, and that's fine. But some people love her, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the fascination is with her, but some people clearly appreciate her work.